Hey, how weird is it that of the 11 movies the Farrelly brothers have made, 6 of them are road trip movies? That's more than half. Now, branching out into more awards-friendly territory, Peter Farrelly has elected to make a road trip movie. I'm just saying that if the Farrellys were abducted in like a custody battle or something as kids, I'd not only believe you, I'd wonder how they were going to work Ben Stiller into that concept. Boy, this certainly got the crap kicked out of it while it was collecting awards so far, huh? Really, people have been ragging on Green Book with all the bile and vitriol usually leveled at Forrest Gump by sanctimonious buzzkills. I mean, in my estimation, Green Book isn't half the movie Forrest Gump was, but it's pretty damn likable. Viggo Mortensen is Tony Lip. He's a sort of a roguish, wise guy hustler and a devoted family man. He takes on a job playing driver and assistant to a black pianist played by Mahershala Ali, and they go on a tour through the Jim Crow era Deep South. Picture, if you will, a sort of reverse Driving Miss Daisy. Anywho, Tony's got some deeply rooted prejudices as regards African Americans, while Ali's Dr. Shirley has some particular prejudices of his own. Hey, I think they might each find a new outlook and evolved sensibility based on their relationship with the other. Whatevs, try and act surprised. Actually, there really is little in the way of surprise to Green Book, which, for the most part, plays pretty much exactly as the A to B to C kind of chronicle its marketing and trailers would suggest. What's obviously not quite in that marketing, though, is just how lumbering and badly thought out the whole thing is. It's an enjoyable enough movie, sure, and I'll be honest, by my pretty low estimation of the Oscars, I wouldn't be terribly shocked to see this land Best Picture, and if you give this even a moment's thought, though, it near instantly starts to unravel. I'll do the good stuff first. Mortensen and Mahershala. They've got great chemistry, and as devastatingly cool as Mahershala can be, I always seem to forget just how much. And I've been watching this dude since the 4400. I've seen the spectrum this guy can run. Really, he can do so much with just a wistful gaze that his ability to kind of seamlessly transition between like Denzel-level character observation and Morgan Freeman-grade philosophy feels almost cheeky, like packaged up with this really slick sense of just like outright zen. I really want this guy to get Best Supporting Actor, I'm not gonna lie. Mortensen's pretty good too. He feels a little broader in terms of the comedic elements than Mahershala Ali does, but that does appear to be a directorial choice for reasons we'll get into. He's got the package down otherwise, though. I mean, pretty much playing the buffoon to Dr. Shirley's straight man figure, but also serving in a capacity as the muscle as well. Let's be honest, though, we flat out know Mortensen's too good an actor to half-arse this, and thankfully he doesn't disappoint. It's on the page that the disappointments come, admittedly, because Green Book's just one of the most mystifyingly illogical movies to attempt this kind of subject matter in quite some time. A lot of the trouble seems to be in the actual conception of Tony Lip as a narrative lead. His arc's stale to the point of leaving crumbs, his mindset and prejudices are inconsistent to say the least. So like, he won't physically touch a black man, like perfectly fine with the gays though, because he works in nightclubs apparently, that presumably have no black staff whatsoever. And then even his general intellect, it just ebbs and flows like the national grid during an ad break on the X Factor. I mean, the story being told in Green Book's a good one, don't get it twisted, but it's one you do feel like you're watching an early draft of that's yet to have all the kinks ironed out. Boil it down, it really is nothing more than Viggy Mort's driving Mr. Daisy to find his own blackness, but between a sort of solid, if unremarkable, directorial hand from Peter Farrelly and the general charm of its performances, and, well, Green Book just works a lot more than it doesn't. The whole true story element's incidentally just not something you should really put that much stock in. The real Dr. Shirley's family seem pretty pissed off about the movie, and, well, to be fair, they only credit it as being inspired by a true story anyway. Look, it's predictable as toffee. You can foresee the final scene, for example, pretty much from the exact moment they dangle it in front of you as a sort of ticking clock element, but the whole thing skirts by on likability alone, even if it is thunderingly empty-headed in its attempts to be meaningful about anything. And if you think you're getting through 45 minutes of this before we're at a North Carolina colonial estate lawn party, like surrounded by white tuxes, this may prove pretty strenuous for you. In fact, it feels a lot of the time like a reimagined take on another film. Probably driving Miss Daisy, if we're being honest, but it does tonally wander close to the sort of like nascent charms of being Coen Brothers light, I guess, like particularly in the way it absolutely leans into quite cartoony and pulp mobster sensibilities in like the beginning and the end. Those New York scenes, by the way, hang around the neck of the rest of Green Book like some kind of albatross. Because the rest of it plays with all the edge and darkness of like Forrest Gump, these wackier cartoonish elements from the mobster end sort of stick out like a sore thumb. But road movie, I know, right? You see, the trouble is that Mortensen's actually tasked with carrying that element with him for the entirety of the movie. So, the bad accents, the unconvincing Goomba shtick, all of that, you're not getting rid of him, I'm afraid. And frankly, if Viggy didn't bring it with the ability he does, this would take the whole damn thing down, but he does and it doesn't, so win. I don't want to rag on Green Book, as I genuinely did enjoy myself with it, but it's a film of some pretty staggering flaws and limitations and contradictions. In other words, it's a perfectly fine regular old movie. Not the best of anything, let alone best picture, but it's the kind of garish, middle-of-the-road thing that gets to win awards, and, well, it's pretty charming. Plus, I can't give them less than 3 stars for how unashamedly they commit themselves to a Trump-era "can't we all just get along" message that would land with all the density of a marshmallow were it not for the singular appeal that is the pairing of Mahershala and Mortensen. It's pretty cute, I'd watch it again. So, Mahershala Ali's up for Best Supporting Actor for Green Book, smack opposite Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me, which is also out this week. This one's a true story too, but actually plays more like a sort of Rob Reiner riff on American Animals, and fronted by the sort of character Bill Murray absolutely would have played in the early 90s. It's actually set in the 90s. It stars Melissa McCarthy as Lee Israel. She's a washed-up writer who finds a revenue stream in forging letters of note from old-school movie stars and writers and public figures. It's directed by Marielle Heller, who brought us the absolutely superb Diary of a Teenage Girl a few years ago. If you've not seen that, absolutely seek it out. Great movie. One of a few dramas centering around young female leads that just got ignored a couple of years ago. And see also Edge of 17. Heller's got a good eye for this one. McCarthy's great in the lead, and she can inhabit a dramatic character as seamlessly as she can a comedic one. I love that about her. And Richard E. Grant's an absolute scene stealer for, he's sort of her almost larger-than-life flamboyant BFF. It's got quite a pithy little heart to it. Lee Israel's played on that sort of 3 billboards level of misanthropy, and the story's quite effective in making us genuinely interested in her, to the extent that, well, we do kind of want her to succeed in her scheming, even though we kind of know that the mere existence of a movie about this kind of tells you that she didn't. It's also got a pretty solid role for Dolly Wells, who I know predominantly for that Patrick Stewart series, Blunt Talk. She's got quite an interesting part here. She's a cute, sort of unlikely love interest. She doubles up as the nice moral centre for it all, too. It's not a piece of casting I'd have seen coming, but it really lands. McCarthy and Richard E. Grant have great chemistry, that's really fun, and both play the dramatic elements of the film, particularly as the new stars of Titanfall, and they play those to perfection. McCarthy's internal sense of just displacement for the world as well is just note perfect. It's the role of a lifetime for her, and she's kind of gifted this just insanely sharp screenplay that never wastes any venom for it. It even saves itself a nifty little cynical sting in the end of its tale. I was just a really big fan. 4 stars from me. Grant absolutely deserves the recognition, but this is worth checking out for McCarthy really playing her dramatic card. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, rate, and review.